Today, we have with us three participants in this program. The author of the book, Economic Revolution of the Century, Dr. Niaz Ahmed Khan, and Dr. Muhammad Ziad Qadiri, and Dr. Ali Galaid. I would start with Dr. Khan by asking about the claims that he made in his book. Dr. Khan, you have made too many claims that you can solve the world's problems in 30 days economically, and that you can reward those that will prove you wrong $1 million. Is that so?
Yes, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is correct. My first claim is this, that within 30 days, any state who implements this system will collect more than 1 year's budget within 24 hours, and within 1 month, at least 10 times more than it is needed to run the country. The production cost and the cost of living will go down by 50%. There will be massive employment, and there will be hardly any unemployment figure in most of the countries where there is a government. How it will be possible? It's something which is unique, but I will explain it to you in just 5 minutes how it is possible. America, a great nation, and a great nation of inventions, and great nation of recessions. All these problems are caused by United States of America, which we are facing now. But here I am going to help this great nation by suggesting that they float bonds on interest basis. My suggestion is that float bonds on non-interest basis. How it is possible? I will explain.
Okay.
If these bonds have to be floated, these bonds should have a massive incentive. What is that incentive? That $1 will buy 5 bonds in the first 30 days.
Okay.
In the second 30 days, it will be 4, rate will be 4. In the
So
third,
it will be higher
in the first month,
incentives at the beginning.
in the beginning.
Okay.
In the second month, it will become 4, and then it will become 3 throughout the whole year.
Okay.
So $1 is buying 5, 4, and 3, depending on the time when you will purchase these bonds.
Okay.
These bonds are different from the bonds which the governments, all other governments are doing it. These bonds are called coupons. Coupons makes some sort of difference in this. That means some sort of concession.
Okay.
These bonds will replace government currency in all the government sectors. That means that you pay through these bonds, not through dollars. Your supposing bill is $100.
Replace meaning
Whole currency
as an alternative.
An alternative currency or a supporting currency.
Okay.
So you have $100 bill, you pay it by 200 coupons.
Okay.
The 200 coupons, what was the rate of your purchase? If it was 5, so you are paying only $40.
Okay.
You are not paying more than, so you get 60% discount. This is one option government gives. Second option government gives, that if you purchase it early in the year, early in the month, early in the days, you can get 100% back, same amount. So that means you have 100% profit on this. Depending on this situation, and also government gives that 10 million duty-free option if somebody can give the government $100,000. And this option will also keep on reducing as the time passes.
Okay.
My poor assumption is this, that if you think of 10% of the people of United States will jump on this, as soon as they hear that their bills will become 60% less, the government of United States can collect 2.5 trillion, their whole year budget, in just 24 hours.
$2.5 trillion.
Trillion. Why? The reason
That's
is
one annual budget.
one annual budget. Why?
Yes.
Because I will never go and pay in dollars if I can see that this bond or coupons are going to help me in this way. Why shouldn't I wait for next day? I will go to the bank, buy these dollars, buy these coupons, and these coupons, when I buy, the money goes to the government account.
Okay. Now, what are the, let's go back to the main subject. We will talk about the mutual benefit coupon system a little later. But what we wanted to know, the claims, once
Yes.
we have explained to our guests and to the viewers.
So these coupons will be sold by 25 to 30 million people
Okay.
at a 10% commission,
Okay.
not on salary. And they will have a quota of $300,000 per month, or whole year quota, they can sell it in one go.
Okay.
So on that basis, these 25 million people will be employed without a single cost to the
25 million
people.
That's for the American
For
economy.
American.
Okay.
We're talking about American
Okay.
economy.
Okay.
Now the thing is this, that if 25 million or 30 million people are unemployed, they are being used, they use the social security which the government gives them. This way there is no social security, they will earn their own money. Now this is another thing. Cost of living, as I said, will go down 50%, because if your cost of price of oil, if your cost of electricity, all those costs which the government is charging you through taxes are gone, and the government is only taking 40%, which is the cost price. The cost price government is always charging by 40%. Rest the government is forgiving you. So the government gets upfront so much of money that the production cost comes down.
So you mean to say that the government doesn't need to actually borrow money from any international monetary banking or funds, and that they can, from the people, generate such amounts of money that could reach to 10 times their budgets?
This is true, because why I will buy, why I will not buy a bond, because there is a 10 million draw every month, every day from these bonds. There could be my good luck, I can get some price. Then there's a 10 million duty-free option. Then I am a businessman.
Okay.
I can think that tomorrow the rate will be better in my favor.
All
So
right.
what I will do, I will keep it with me, and next month I can sell it at 4. Same thing, I can generate a lot of profit in this. Now, what about the people who cannot afford 100,000? In this way, there is a loophole through which poor man can also get the rate of 5. How? An investor knows that these people who are 25 million people, they are getting 10% commission. So he says, I will go to them and ask them, I will buy your whole year budget, give me 5%. So if he gives 5 or 6, whoever gives more commission, the investor goes to him and buys his those, he just invests 100,000, that's all. And he comes home with 500,000 coupons and starts selling it. I'm also selling it for $1, I'm selling 5. I'm not 100,000 asking. By the evening, he has sold everything, and he keeps on repeating as long as the demand lasts. So now see, this is a second floodgate of money which has opened up. First gate of floodgate was 10 to 15% will jump in to do that. Now almost more than 60% of the population will go beg, borrow, or steal.
Okay.
is another way they say that everybody wants to collect the money and go and buy these coupons. And
Okay, Dr. Khan,
yes.
are we finished with the claims, or
There is one claim more.
Yes.
Now we have given the budget to the government, so they don't need taxes.
Okay.
We have reduced the expenses of everybody because of the cost of living has gone down. We have created massive employment. So these are the things which I told you about it, and there is a massive opportunity for duty-free and industry. These are the 5 claims which I made. Now I will ask you and the
Okay.
panelists to ask me any question they want.
Actually, we can ask you, but I wanted to ask Dr. Ali here. You have been in the right places in Somalia, minister, prime minister, high offices. MashaAllah, you've been in very many good places. Do you think such mutual benefit coupon systems could work? Will it help businesses? Of course, I think you need to also share these views with Dr. Khan. But do you think a system that is built on generating money from the people would make it possible? And the second question I would definitely ask is, how can these poor people afford to buy these coupons, from your experience?
I'd really like to congratulate Dr. Khan for thinking through these very interesting and novel ideas and coming up with this model. God knows that the whole world is in deep crisis, economic crisis, and we need new ways of tackling the problem.
Okay.
I think he has done a very good job, and it needs to be thought through and examined and see whether this really will work. Before I make one general comment on it, let me just respond to your question.
Okay.
I think the economy is not divorced from the issue of governance. The first thing is, do people have faith in their government? Is this a legitimate, trustworthy government?
Okay.
Do you trust this government with your resources? It's the government that's going to be playing the key role of price setting and coordinating
Implementation.
the whole business of these bonds.
Okay.
At the moment, or at least in most countries, it's institutions like banks, whether they're public or private, that deal with these issues. It's thousands of producers, thousands of service providers, and it's through the market system that these decisions are made. What Dr. Khan is suggesting is that there is going to be a central authority that's going to play the role of setting the prices.
But will it have a say over the multinational companies? Governments in the West do not have a say over multinationals.
The governments in the industrialized or post-industrialized countries technically don't have, they don't rule the multinationals. There are enough loopholes for them to play outside, primarily to avoid taxes, but also in terms of their production and where they want to move and the movement of capital from one country to the other. The fundamental issue here is that unless you have a functioning government, a credible government, a government that people trust with their own resources, I think this is going to be a pipe dream. I mean, sorry to say this, but I think this is going to be an idea, excellent as it may be, that won't fly because people will not jump on the idea. They will not be willing to buy these bonds. The second point I'd like to make in a place like Somalia, and Somalia is too generous. It's a very unusual case because there is no central government. But even when there was a central government, I think the issue of the government handling this massive intervention in the economy requires a very trained manpower. It requires a very sophisticated levels of skills to manage this kind of elaborate sort of, even as for a small country. And more importantly, how do you ensure that this system will not be exploited? That you are a small country, a small economy, and you open for whoever wants to buy these bonds. How do you ensure that a small...
You mean there are no tools to do it as yet? I mean, is it...
From what I heard now, the issue of the first 24 hours, who has the capital to buy the 100,000 sort of lots? But I haven't heard, are there quotas? Are there limits to what an individual or a group or a company can buy? Or can a few players really dominate the whole buying and selling and use that for their own purposes?
I see. So it's not, you mean corruption proof?
It's not corruption proof. It's not proof of really the misuse of the system. Because what exists now has taken millennia to develop and evolve, and there are built-in checks and balances. But for this to be installed overnight, I think it will be quite a risky step.
Okay, thank you. Do you have to add any more about those things?
What I'd like to add is that if we are going to have a look at this before we even look at the implementation level, this is the issue of behavior. We're talking behavior at the level of the individual, at the level of a firm, or say a group, the level of a firm, at the level of a nation, and internationally. And all of these are very much integrated. So the behavior of these different components have to be looked at and thought through. Okay. And I think there is no country, even the US, which is an island unto itself now. Okay. So whatever is done, unless this is done in a synchronized way for a whole host of countries, it's going to be massively difficult for a country or a few countries to adopt the system.
Thank you, Dr.
The first thing is trusting the government. Trusting the government is this: the government is already selling bonds, and that even forget about the people there. Chinese are buying those bonds. Japanese are buying those bonds. A government which is not there, or inside, but here.
I think he meant there is a conflict of interest.
No, it's no conflict of interest. But
he said that there's
no. He said that trusting a government.
Yeah.
Government is already doing this all over the world. They are selling bonds. Okay. We said, what I have done, I have not done anything. I said sell bonds, but through this purpose. In this way, if outside government wants to buy these bonds, no problem. But your inside people wants to buy these bonds because they will get benefited. It's a currency which is government supporting. The government says, take this currency, give me that currency.
All right, we agree. The government will do it.
Yes.
The present government, wherever it is, right,
yes,
they will implement it and they will secure that it is done.
Yeah.
So that they secure the interest of the nation.
Interest
right?
of the nation.
That's the main thing, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Quadri, you are listening to this discussion.
Yes.
What input you can give us?
You see, I'm very skeptical.
Yeah.
To abolish altogether the taxes is to kill a philosophy, a social philosophy of allocation of burdens among people in a society. When we are taking taxes, we have an idea. We want somebody who is consuming, for example, to give a part, but most of the taxes, the direct taxes.
But he's telling you, direct or indirect, he's
No,
telling you
abolishing it means destroying all the philosophy and all the so-called the allocation of burdens. We have now 5 centuries where we were discussing the meaning of tax.
No, but he said he's replacing
the
currency.
He is offering a game. You buy with $1 5 coupons. I don't know how those will see. If somebody who will show you the 5 coupons, whether they will give you vegetables for it or nothing.
No.
Okay,
The coupons,
Okay.
he also killing the idea of the money.
Okay.
He is making a surrogate, which is a replacement of the money by the coupons. This is very, very dangerous.
So are we going backwards?
Yes.
We're going backwards.
200 years.
So, I mean, you don't think this is an alternative? I mean, I asked him, is this an alternative currency?
Yeah, because he is not abolishing the currency. The people who are having in their pockets 10% of the great national product,
Okay.
they are asked to go to the government, get for $1 5 coupons, next month 4 coupons, and then to make a trade with those coupons.
All right. So
This is, first of all, this is
an incentive that he's offering.
This is a destruction of the whole economy. We cannot afford one day, if we have in any place a budget, we need every day the revenue from all taxes to maintain.
Thank you very much. Dr. Khan, what he's
Yes.
saying, just let me put the question right.
Yes.
Right? He's saying that you are destroying the economy.
Taxes.
No. He's saying that by eliminating taxes, by abolishing interests,
Yes.
by making this system, that's what he's saying about the system. He's not taking one item.
Yeah.
He's saying you are destroying a long history
Yeah.
with this current economic
Yeah.
situation in the world. Now,
Yeah.
what is this? Did you mean at any stage that these coupons are in some way an alternative currency to the dollar or to the whatever dinar or whatever it is? Or is it just a parallel currency? I understand that you will have to use these coupons internally inside the lands, but not outside the land. The other point that while you're answering, please tell this gentleman that if you have, if these coupons will help the economy as a whole, will help the businesses, or is it helping the individuals? How can it be used for businesses?
Okay, now
also?
first thing is this. The option is this: government says why the taxes are taken. Why the taxes are taken to run the economy. If taxes are not taken, then how they can run the economy? That means actual crux of the matter is money. If the money is not there, generated through the taxes, is there any other way through which the money can be generated? And if the money can be generated through other way upfront, then the government has option to remove the tax or keep the tax or increase the tax.
But you make it look as if it's about money, about collecting
Yes,
money.
it is collecting money. There is
It's
nothing-
about collecting money.
Yes.
It's not about setting up a system.
No, 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 no.
All
no.
right. So the
It's-
system, the old system will apply.
It is still the same.
Okay.
There is, if the government says I have 10 times more than the budget I have got it, but I still want taxes, let it be. There is no question that we are saying taxes can only be removed if the government wants it. If the government has only, my claim is this, that if the government gets 10 times more amount of money, whole year budget in 1 month,
Okay.
will he still apply taxes? This is what my aim. But if he wants to apply, let it be.
I do pay taxes over in the UK, yes.
Yes, very much. Yeah, South Africa, I think I was paying up to about 43% tax.
Absolutely. You have to pay taxes to help the country. The money gets spent on infrastructure. Well, the money because absolutely, Australia, United States of America, all of those countries, the UK, they pay money to the developing country.
Yeah, India is a heavily taxed country. They're pretty high. I mean, as compared to Dubai, if you earn there, the majority chunk of your salary goes to the government. If you buy any car, you have a value-add tax added to it. It's almost double the price as here. So I don't know the numbers. I mean, I'll have to go back and check, but it's a good percentage.
Yes. Why? Because it contributes to society and it contributes to an economy. Well, because then how does a country build infrastructure and community health programs and hospitals and education? Where does a country derive income from?
But before that, I worked in the United Nations for 5 years, and I didn't pay tax. So there are debates about that. In terms of who's going to pay for the public services if there's no taxes. How are the funds going to be managed? And that's the justification. I mean, whether that's the right way of doing it is another debate.
High taxes are a problem. I do mind paying that if you're not getting anything in return for that. Taxes should pay for things like schooling, medical, and certainly in South Africa that's not the case. The medical system is a mess, I believe. Certainly the government medical system. The private medical is still okay, but that's extremely expensive. Schooling is, well, one of these days they'll find out what the curriculum is going to be. They haven't even decided on that as far as I know. So, yeah, the taxes are, I think, over the top.
If you can generate within 30 days, not 24 hours, 30 days, if you can generate from 2.5 trillion to 30 trillion, that is 10 times. Why do you need taxes if
This
you
is
have
an
this?
illusion, sir.
How?
The money we are printing, the money is an equivalent and counterbalance to our great national products.
Okay.
So if it's not the sense that we go to and milk and get money together for the government in what we are fighting now about 1% increase in one tax.
Okay.
Let alone now to say the government made a trick and it got assembled together 10 times the budget.
So
It
Dr.
means
Khan has the magic stick to make it work.
Okay, I will. Okay, done.
Okay,
I
the
will- I
dollar
will-
will fall to one ruble. You know,
Okay.
now
Dennis.
$1 is 30 ruble. If the government will collect 30 times the money, we have $1 is 1 ruble, and nobody in the world will take this green currency anymore.
No.
Okay, Dr. Khan.
Number
can you?
one, I will ask him one question. Supposing he is a United States citizen,
Okay.
the government offers this, a dream. I'm not asking, offers a dream, take this, give me this dollar, I will give you this 5 coupons. You can use it on petrol station, anything, electricity, not supermarket, which he got it wrong. It is not the supermarket, it's private sector, no. We're talking about the government sector.
All right.
Anything the government sector is there, you give a coupons. You don't give dollars. This is what, and your benefit is this, that you get this, all these things cheaply because there is no tax. Actual cost money government is getting, 40% government is
So
getting.
what would these coupons cost?
Coupons are the 40% non-tax, without
No,
tax.
what is the cost of? I mean, first of all, you need to determine a
Cost
new
of the
system.
coupon is, so look, if $1 guys is 20 cent.
Okay.
20 cent is the cost of the production what the government is doing.
All right.
So the 20 cents are being given all the time to the customer. Customer is paying 20 cents instead of $1. 80 cents are taxes. 80 cents are all these taxes. If you accumulate, these are taxes. The government says, don't give me tax. If you give me this, if I ask him this question, if government says this, that you this, and you will get these all things cheaper, you have industry, you can import anything 10 million duty free.
Because you see, you are not talking about the color, the
No, it's same.
denomination
No, nothing.
of the currencies. You are
No.
not talking about the cost of
No.
No,
these
the
currencies.
problem is he is supposing that the government of the United States is having petrol station, and whenever somebody is having coupon, he can fill. This is also a misconception, sir. The government of the United States of America is not having but participation in some industries. They don't have filling station. Those coupons remind me of the so-called CIS introduction of their new currencies.
Well,
They
in-
started in the former Soviet Union,
In the socialist
Commonwealth
countries, yes.
of
Okay.
independent states.
Romania, for example.
They started
Yeah.
with 1 to the dollar, and
Okay.
after 1 month approximately, they ended by 1 to 50.
to the dollar.
Because we have, in the economy, we have laws. The currency must be rare. The currency must have, the people must have confidence. How in the world could we convince an
But
American?
how can you have confidence while governments are just printing,
Printing
money?
the money.
Yeah,
They're not-
they
they're
are
not solving
they
the
are
problem.
Printing the money exactly pari passu in the same step to the development of the economy. They are keeping a rate of almost 10% of the year per annum national product.
Thank you, Doctor.
Just-
Dr. Ali, do you
No,
have
no,
something
no,
to...
no.
I will come back to you. Let me just have an
No,
input.
I will forget that.
No, how...
Petrol stations are being charged taxes. Actual cost is 40. Actual cost of the petrol is this. Whenever the petrol is brought in, they are done by the private sector, but a lot of taxes are charged to them.
Okay.
So this is what I am talking. Those taxes will go away. This is what you're thinking. The thing is this:
Dr. Ali, just give him
You
one.
remind me.
600 and $780 billion printing. What backup? No backup.
Now, I think Dr. Ali can have a contribution, but you're insisting to talk,
Because
so...
otherwise, forget. I'm an old man.
That's why you have a pen, Dr. Khan.
Yes.
Please write the notes so that we can give equal
But
opportunities.
this is a better way to,
Okay, fine.
reply
Go
in
ahead.
the same
It's all
way.
right.
The viewers will forget.
All right,
What
no.
he said, petrol stations are owned by private sector. But who owns the taxes? They are put by these government. They are huge taxes which the government put. This is why the petrol cost is more. If those taxes are removed, they will fill with the coupons and give it to the government, say this, here it is yours.
Okay.
So thing is this, by printing money, one economist says almost 90% of the economists say this is wrong. This is wrong, printing economy.
So why they're doing it?
They have no option left. And this is the option.
So your option is actually the alternative solution.
Why to print money? You tell me why to, why they are, okay, now, I'll give you an example.
All right.
They want to sell bonds to China.
Okay.
And you know what happened? Their trade secretary went it was reported on the channels, on CNBC and on Bloomberg. They are going with a cap in their hand to China, and he went there to beg. This is what is happening. My colleague probably doesn't know about this. This was reported on the news television that he went to beg China to take these bonds.
Thank you. Dr. Ali, what do you have to say on the argument made by the two gentlemen?
I'll just address the 2 points here. The issue of taxes, as Dr. Qadri has talked about, has evolved over a long period of time. There are issues of, this is the stuff of politics. Taxes don't happen. Elections are held and political parties win or lose because of who will be facing or be accountable, or at least the burden of taxation will be on whom. The issue has evolved, in terms of taxation, issues of equity, issue of whether it's progressive taxes or not. And this has evolved, and this has been really perfected over a long period of time. And it's not only the taxes. There is a whole legal framework that's very much part of that. The matter of coupons and going to buy and go to the gas station, I think Dr. Khan will be on a safer ground if he says that initially the coupons will be strictly for either services or products that are being sold by the government. You don't mess around with the private sector where the government is not involved, because then you will be getting into nationalization. You'll be getting into the government first, taking the first steps to a command economy, and I don't think that's what he wants. You have to disaggregate. He's saying that 80% or 60% of the price of the gases, of petrol, is taxes. Yes, it is. But how do you disaggregate this price? What are taxes, and what are the cost of production, and what are the cost of distribution, and what are the profit margins? This gives you an aggregate price figure. And the figure, there is a cost build-up for this. You can't just say, I will use a coupon because the government taxes them. This simply will not.
I'm sure he's aware of that, but I think...
But what he's not aware of is that unless the coupons are for the public sector, for services and goods provided by the government, otherwise you'll be dealing with the market then. And then it becomes, you're replacing the market forces. You are replacing the private sector. That's one issue.
The terminology that you're using is actually made by the West. Free market economy.
No. The terminology I am making goes back to what he's saying.
Yes, okay, fine.
What he's saying is that the tax, he was responding to Dr. Qadri's
tax
point.
and interest.
He's responding to the issue of if you have a coupon, and in the US the government is not in the business of selling gas. The government is in the business of broadly taxing at some stage.
I will explain it.
So let me just finish, please. That is one aspect. The issue of the government selling coupons, yes, the government is selling coupons. Since the Second World War, the US has been selling coupons internationally. At some stages was the Germans were mostly buying them. At a later stage was the Japanese. Now it's the Chinese. The Chinese have roughly bought about $700 billion worth of coupons buying treasury bonds. And this is something they are continuing. Gaitas, the Secretary of Treasury, going last week to China is not a secret. I mean, this will continue. The Chinese won't do this unless there is a benefit for them.
Yes.
And the benefit for them is to be able to leverage and to have an influence in the American decision-making processes and what America will do in the world economy.
Yes, Dr. Khan.
It's a big misconception is I am talking about the government sector, nothing to do with the private sector. Coupons which will be replacing the dollar in only the government sector, nothing to do with the market, supermarket or vegetable. No, there is no involvement of coupon in that way.
So you want to create a dual system?
A dual system only in the government sector.
Okay.
And then again, when the government sector is there, what you are talking about is correct. That how much the tax, how much the profit margin, how much is the delivery.
So when you talk about mutual benefit coupon system, which mutual between whom?
Between government and the person.
So that's what you're saying.
Yes.
So you are not having an alternative economy, but a parallel coupon system.
I'm not disturbing the previous economy. I'm just saying what to say.
Instead of giving interest on the bond,
yes,
he is giving
a
4, 5
times
coupon in the first month.
Yes.
So what do
and
you
then
think?
this guy, after 1 month, he will get 4. So he's
yes.
making 20%
Yes.
More in 1 month.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
And
So those
clever
that
people-
will start this system at the beginning
No,
will become rich.
I mean
No, I'm just
abolishing the interest,
Okay.
Yeah.
like the Islamic bank sometimes in this country.
Or in any
They are
country.
taking 20%,
Okay.
not like that. They buy it from you and resell it to you with 20% add-on.
No, I will
Okay,
give
let
example.
Dr. Khan
Actually,
explain,
the
please.
reason is this, that the concept will not be very clear unless it goes into the detail. Now, what he's talking about is this, that the rich person, here, rich person say about 10%.
That only rich people will be able to buy it in the first month so they can make a lot of money.
So let it be.
Like the Islamic Bank, he said, that are being practices.
No.
10 times.
Okay.
Now
Okay,
No,
let Dr. Khan
no,
finish, please. Yeah, but I mean, I'm
no,
just reminding you.
Okay,
Yes.
how about the poor person? I just explained it to him. If the poor person also gets a rate of 5, then has he got any complaint?
But he doesn't have the money to buy.
No,
the
$1
poor
he
person.
has got. He has $1 or not?
And the rich man has $1 billion.
Oh, let it be. I will take his point. Rich man goes and buy 1 billion.
1
You
billion.
know what? There will be nobody who want to buy this billion coupons
Yeah, but
from
these
him.
coupons don't have any expiry
But
date anyway.
No, let it be.
So if
okay, who is the loser? He wants to sell it into the market. Market goes down.
Okay.
$1 billion he has purchased. He wants to sell it in the market with profit. Nobody's buyer there. So he will burn his hand.
Why,
No,
if the government is putting the price tag after 1 month
Yes,
with
so-
20% higher on the same coupon?
my dear, exactly.
But Dr. Khan, what is worrying our guests
My
here is a simple thing. Is this system a proper system compared to what exists? This is one question. The other thing, you can answer, you can have the whole, we have 13 episodes to answer to these questions. So we're not in a hurry to do it now. But now there is a question which really goes into the minds of everybody. Is it a proper system to follow? That's one thing. You have to give people the confidence to do it, the trust to do it. That's one thing. The other thing, is it free of corruption like what was raised at the beginning?
Yeah, the
These are
problem is
questions-
this, you won't let me speak because the corruption is not there. It is an open market.
Now, what we are all talking about is, I know, but we are talking about creating revenues,
No, yeah, creating revenue.
not implementing systems.
No, I'm not.
All right, go on.
First thing is corruption is, where is corruption? If there is a limited amount of coupons, coupons are floated as much as you want
But
it.
Dr. Ali said that the governments that will implement this system now are corrupt. Every day we can see somebody going to court for...
No,
Yeah.
forget what. I'm not
All right.
talking about Somalia.
All right.
I'm talking about United States of America.
Yeah, there is
Yes.
corruption. Enro.
Oh, my dear, what corruption? Where is the corruption? They are selling bonds. Where is the corruption now? Where is the corruption now? China is buying, I am buying, Japan is buying. Where is the corruption now? There's no corruption.
So how can you make sure that...
He's
corruption-
already made sure that somebody is buying these bonds. He is using it. Where is
Okay.
the corruption? Corruption doesn't arise. Only corruption will arise If there is a limited people who are buying it and other people cannot buy, government is open that you can come and give me the money and you can buy it, you can use it. This is what I am saying. The Somali thing is something different. Here, trusting of the government is wrong. Here they are already doing it. I will give you an example now. Only 2 days before, Gulf News reported that UK wants to sell 100 billion pounds and they cannot sell it because there are 4 banks.
I saw that, yes.
This is what is happening. Why to do that? If you can have an easy way. These are also bonds, these are also bonds. What is the difference? Difference is this, that you get money up front and you give the incentive to the people.
What they are saying to you, why do we need to change
the
economic system for a function of generating revenues?
No, you are failed. You are miserably failed. You have taken the world into a ditch. You have taken the world into a ditch. And
absolutely, everybody recognizes
so
that.
If he is criticizing that government are printing money,
okay,
why in the world not criticizing that government is printing coupons? The same.
Because of the benefits that the coupons will give to the people.
No, this is every government.
He said that he will eliminate poverty, he will eliminate taxes, he will eliminate
every government
interest
today has got the duty to keep the value, the purchase value of its currency.
Okay.
The good government are sticking, like the EU government, to a certain rules in relation to their national products,
okay,
and keeping the inflation rate under 3%. Other governments are not doing so. But how in the world, where in all countries there are rules and regulations about printing money, and this is an independent function, not of the government.
Yes.
It's independent. It's a central bank is independent.
Yes, central bank will print these coupons. They are already doing it. We are saying it, print those coupons, but sell it in your country. If outside country wants to buy it. There is no harm in it. Same rules and regulation apply. There is no difference. We are saying the system is the same. Just printing the coupons in which the people can have benefit, and they will give you money upfront very happily because everything is production.
We don't solve the problem if the people give us all their money, sir. You have to understand that there are economic laws where, for example, the cost of living. Cost of living.
Yes.
Okay.
You mean he needs to integrate with this system some laws?
Everything.
But if the government, if the US tomorrow says, okay, just a minute.
You want to know what they need? They need to abolish.
Yes, all right. But if he says
they need
tomorrow,
to abolish in the United States the constitution altogether. Because nowadays, if one function has to be added to the Federal Reserve,
yes, Doctor,
you need the approval of.
Dr. Mohammed,
we'll take the approval. We'll take the approval.
He is talking. The idea
we'll take
to
the
him.
Approval.
He is talking about improving.
I assure you that among 52 senators,
excuse me. Okay,
you will
Dr.
not
Khan,
find one.
Dr. Mohammed, Dr. Ali, you are seeing this discussion, hot discussion. Dr. Khan says that I want to improve the quality of life of the poor in the world. And Dr. Mohammed says that's not possible because the rich people are already in command.
Will be more in command.
And will be more in command if the coupon system is to be applied. Okay. What do you think?
I tend to agree with Dr. Qadri.
Yes.
Because whatever the system is, and the system like this, which is brand new, has good there is a good vision behind them in terms of eliminating poverty or having a more egalitarian society, in terms of probably dealing with the tax burden, the cost of living. There are very important sort of benchmarks that he's dealing with.
Okay.
The important issue here is that conceptually, I'm not satisfied that the integration of the different components of the model, really the integration is there. That's one. Two, and when I talk about integration, I'm talking about, you are not only talking about taxes, you're talking about budgets. You're talking about both fiscal.
We have 4 more minutes, so I want 1 minute from you, and then.
The issue of I have a problem with is Dr. Khan says that 20 to or 25 to 30 million people will be involved in the selling and buying of these bonds.
So we'll be helping the unemployment figures, yes.
Two important issues here. One, what will happen to all the people who were involved in activities that are in place now that are going to be abolished or will no longer be there? So people will be losing their jobs because of their jobs will be taken by others in this new system.
Okay, just
let him finish, please. Let him just finish. Okay.
The other point I'd like to address is that in terms of the competence of these governments, and we're not only talking about the US, we're talking about 190 countries. And if we're talking, especially if this is initially meant for Islamic countries, we're talking about
57,
60 countries. And these are not countries which are known for being very well administered. That these are not countries which are known for their competence in managing complex issues like this. So my big question mark is that ideally the concept might make sense.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. Thank you. Dr. Khan,
yes,
can you
my dear, first thing
clarify, please.
Clarify is first thing. You are saying losing job. Which job they are going to lose? Tell me. Only who will lose the job? Who are tax collectors. You know, tax consultant will lose their job, but they are not losing their job. There are 4 bidders. 4 bidders in this, and this is called the company who will hire these people will have thousands of jobs, thousands of offices, because they have to set up a network of people. Each and every place will have thousands of more job creation. Okay. Where the job lost? Job lost are only for those people who were tax consultants, and they will be jobs so many million. Now 25 to 30 million people in United States are jobless. 30 million people, we get jobs straight away. With job loss, there's no job loss. Only thing what you're talking about, oh my dear, this is not a harf of Quran. Quran is not a love. You think about now 559 countries there is corruption. Let it be the corruption. I'm not talking about the corruption. I am talking about an alternate system which will give a poor person a relief.
A non-corrupt system.
It's sort of. It is going towards.
Fine. All right. So even if it is corrupted,
so what?
It will not be corrupted in the way that capitalism allows
capitalism
it to happen.
already there.
Okay, fine. Now, what I wanted to know, how can we actually, in the last 2 minutes or 3 minutes, how can we help the poor, as you say?
Yes. First thing is there is a people who will sell these coupons, and they will be all poor people. All poor people, unemployed people, they will have a quota of 300,000.
They have to carry identification. We are poor people.
No.
You might say.
No, it doesn't matter. There might be some good people also come. Doesn't matter. Okay. So what? He wants it to come. Let it be.
Yeah.
So he has to show a certificate of his small.
You see, the Americans of the capitalist system have lived with unemployment figures for a long time.
They have no system before.
Let me complete the question. They lived with unemployment figures for a long time. Now, in America, what is worrying them now is not the fact that they have, let's say, a figure 10 million people unemployed or 14 million. What is worrying them is the fact that they are on the increase every month. Dr. Qadri, can you explain, please?
Yes. We are about to touch the bottom of the so-called downturn. We had the highest figure, additional jobless in the United States. We are talking now about the economy of the United States. Was the highest 692,000. Luckily, we had now in May the figure down
160,000.
500.
I will answer.
Okay,
I will answer.
It comes down.
You will have a whole.
If this trend is keeping, we will have the bottom where those additional job places are zero by December.
All right.
And we will have, by December, a rate of employment, it was 5% in the good time, of 11.2%.
Okay.
And from there, we can make the cycle upturn.
No, we don't like paying taxes in Australia. Speaking of poverty, I mean that's you know, we could all do a lot more. You know, maybe we could introduce some taxes so we could, you know, help out you know, the underprivileged people in obviously this society and globally.
Well, nobody likes paying taxes. Well, as we pay 20% at source, but it's not evident to the eye. But you know, if we can not pay it, we would prefer not to pay it. If it's offering a service that's going to enhance our way of living, we would probably prefer to pay it.
Yes, I was paying taxes in the UK, that's correct. It was something that was part of my life. I had to pay taxes because of the way the country is organised and how we provide for the services around us. So if I like it is one way, but it's something I think is a necessity for some countries for actually making them operate correctly.
Well, I can't justify taxes because taxes go to the government and the government needs to help the people, so it needs to have some money to spend on services that they should provide to the people. So yeah, for me taxes are justifiable.
The tax is fairly high, although I believe it's come down in the last few years. I haven't been there for a while. It was up at about the 42% mark. I believe it's a little bit lower now. Well, that was lowered because there was an election fairly recently, so maybe that's what caused it.
43% of your salary, and then of course there's other indirect taxes, VAT, tax on petrol. I'm sure if the government there wanted to put a tax on breathing, they probably would do it if they could work out how to.
I'd love to live in a society where there's no interest, no tax, no poverty. You know, it'd be fantastic. It's everybody's dream.
Now I'll give 1 minute for Dr. Khan to conclude.
It's a wishful thinking that we are in the bottom. Why? You just think about it. Spending what Barack Obama, what he said? I am spending 1 trillion on what? Building roads, building hospitals, making these things better. How these new jobs are created? These are new jobs. What about those foreclosures? What is happening to Freddie Mac? What will happen to them? Who will pay their debts? Where the bank will go? These are all wishful thinkings.
I'll end today's discussion with Dr. Khan's quotation in the book.
America is like a giant oak tree. I wrote it in 2006 in my book.
Copyrighted?
Copyrighted.
Yes.
And it was published in America. America is just like a giant oak tree economy with rotten roots, dying leaves, and hollow barks. At any time, this giant tree will fall down, mighty tree will fall down, and will bury all the nation under relaxing under shade. And everything has been proved right.
Thank you, Dr. Khan.
We'll prove.
Thank you, Dr.
This is
Kawadri, and thank you, Dr. Ali. Hope to see you next week. Before then, please try to prove that Dr. Khan is wrong and win $1 million. Thank you.